I want to thank my sister-in-law for making a suggestion that we spend 2 weeks on Pesach rather than the Parsha and Pesach. So Mirz Hashem, both this week as well as next week, we'll have shiurim dedicated to Pesach. Really, one could spend an entire year dedicated to Pesach. I believe they say that the Haggadah is the sefer that is most commented on among all the Sfarim. Let's take a look at Pesach, ask ourselves 3 questions, and develop a mahalach that Mirz Hashem will impact our avodas halayla, our service the nights of the Seder or the Sedarim, as the case may be. The first question Rabbi Kaplan notes in the Aryeh Kaplan Reader is, what is the significance of Pesach? And put in other languages, what are we supposed to be getting from the Pesach experience? What is the goal? What's the mission statement that we need to look at? That's question 1. Question 2 is, it's an interesting question, of all the countries around at that time, why was it specifically Egypt, Mitzrayim, that we were enslaved in? What is the significance that we were taken out of Egypt and its relevance for us? And question number 3 is a question which is found in source number 2, which Rabbi Yisrael Salman Shlita in his Sefer Matnat Chaim HaMoadim asked. He says, Yesh sho'alim al seder hagadah shel Pesach, Mazah shalom afkirim b'shmo shel Moshe Rabbeinu. Klal halahu haya shliach Hashem raya mehemna asher masar nafsho Yisrael. How do we understand a very blatant lack of Moshe Rabbeinu's name not mentioned in the Seder night? It was not Moshe Rabbeinu, the loyal servant. Would I have not expected that Moshe Rabbeinu should become a major part of retelling of the story? Why is it that we only have one mention of Moshe Rabbeinu the entire night? And it's a mention like Kalachar Yad, almost, through the back door. When we're talking about Kriyas Yamsuf, it mentions that the Jewish people believed in Hashem, Moshe Avda, and Moshe as a servant. But it has nothing to do with Moshe Rabbeinu as the figure, that great leader who took us out of Egypt. And he ends by asking, is this not kikfiyat tovah chas v'shalom? Is this not as a lack of gratitude to all that Moshe Rabbeinu did? Where's Moshe Rabbeinu's name in the Seder night? The mahalach, the approach that I'd like to take in Mirz Hashem this year, is the approach that Rabbi Kaplan brings in his Sefer, and to look at it on 2 levels. He notes that we must recognize Pesach as a way of bringing us into a much greater festival, or a much different festival, and that is, as it continues to be the gateway to God's giving of the Torah to the Jewish people at the time of Shavuot. And we have to link the 2 holidays together, and that's what Sfiras Omer does. And of the 4 Lashonos HaGeula, one of them is V'lakachti etchem li la'am, God will take us as a people, and that's Matan Torah. The Talmud states that with the giving of the Torah, all the negative effects of Adam's sins were annulled with respect to the Jewish nation. In particular, the Jews were freed from the power of the angel of death. It was only in the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf, that everything reverted back. But really, when the Jews got the Torah, they were on a level of Adam Arishon, the first man, before he sinned. So the Arizal notes that the whole concept of Pesach provides the Jews with a method of rectifying Adam's sin. And this is the way I'd like Mirz Hashem together to learn Pesach night. Pesach is about the way that we begin the process, which culminates on Shavuos, when we as a nation return to the level of Adam before he sinned. But in order to get there, you have to begin the process. The beginning of the process, the beginning of the rectification, happens in the Seder night. What is really going on the Seder night, according to this approach, is that each and every one of us is involved in rectifying the sin of Adam Arishon and trying to bring the world back to a perfected state. With this in mind, we can appreciate the idea of the Lekach V'Alipov notes in source number 3. Each of the Sfarim HaKadoshim, it's mentioned in the Holy Sfarim that the 4 times the word kos yayin, or word cup of wine in Gematria, we have 4 cups of wine, we multiply that by the numerical value of kos yayin, you get the word cherut, freedom. And likewise, if you take the word lechem oni without the vav, and you multiply those words, lechem oni, poor man's bread, 3 times for the 3 matzahs, you also get chayros, freedom. Because it's through these mitzvos halayla, through the lechem oni, through the matzah and through the yayin, that we're able to reach chayros, ultimate redemption. Through the matzah we reach chayros haguf, the redemption of the body, and through the yayin we reach chayros hanefesh, redemption of the soul. And that ultimate redemption, as we're speaking about today, is the ultimate redemption of trying to at least reach on some level the redemptive state of Adam Arishon before the sin, and purifying ourselves but completely. What I'd like to try to understand, Siyata Dishmaya, together, is if we were to listen, right? Pesach is about Pesach, the mouth that speaks.